Peace, 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 love and blessings to each and every one of you. Welcome and welcome back to Redefining Authenticity. I'm your co-host, Sheronda L. Barksdale, your life empowerment coach over at Authentically Your Expressions, where I'm helping you live your most authentic life.
Hello, everyone. Peace and blessings. I am Kim Martin Raymond, your toolbox essentialist and founder of Redefining You LLC, where I help my clients to realign themselves, mind, body, and spirit. Hey, girl.
Hey girl, hey, hey girl, hey.
Yes, hey, girl. Hey,
It's
we are
called Kim.
yesterday. What? In Atlanta,
In Atlanta.
Georgia. Okay, friend. Okay, yesterday, a week ago, it was supposed to be Snowmageddon. We were all prepared. I think everybody was successful at eating all of their snacks, and that
Oh,
was about it.
that's
That's
it.
about it.
With no
Because
snow.
it didn't do anything. It didn't get
I was
down.
like,
There
did
was
y'all
not
get
a flake.
anything?
It was not a flake out of the sky. I was like, what is happening?
Nope. Nope.
And then they had everybody, we all got a day off on Monday, the
Hmm.
Monday after.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I really could. I don't mind staying home for a day. So I was all right with that.
Okay.
But then, the kids may have to make up that day. Who knows? But it's just, I was like, no, it's a little bit much. I was out every single day. Okay. Because when the snow did come in, we had a little bit of ice.
Okay.
And I was about it. And I chipped a little ice off the car. And then I was in them streets.
In the street.
I
That's it.
can't, I can't be trapped in the house if there's
Yes. Especially for no reason.
right. Right.
There's
And
nothing
then
on
this
the
this
road.
past weekend, like I said, I saw the flurries the other day and was like, oh, it's about to get down. Nope. Nope.
We didn't even get, if we got flurries, I never saw them. I ain't see one of
We
them.
got flurries and looked like we got a little dusting on the car, but
Okay.
a couple of hours later, gone,
Gone. That's
gone.
it.
But I have friends who lived in other areas of Georgia
Yeah.
and
They got
like their
them.
whole yard was covered
Yeah. My
and
sister
everything.
was.
I
But
was
up in Beaufort,
mortified.
Georgia, north, north,
Yes.
north. Yeah.
Yes. A lot of people up north, people in Lawrenceville, people near Mall of Georgia, they said they got snow and it was something serious. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to be able to get to my office tomorrow, but if they want to close the office one more time,
Hey,
knock yourself out.
thank
I'm
you.
all right with that.
Thank you. All
But
right,
yes,
so we're going into part two of creating a fresh start in the new year. If you missed the first part, go back to the channel. Make sure you're watching. Look at the channels. Look right down there. We're gonna change that banner real quick though.
yes, I noticed that. Just like the banner is not the right one. Okay, got the right one.
Got the
All
right one. Go to those channels.
right.
Go to me and Kim's channel. You can watch part one of creating a fresh start in the new year.
Fresh start in
It
the
was a
new
good show.
year.
That was good.
Yes,
This was really
yes,
good too.
yummy. It was yummy. So, like she said, we're doing part two. We talked about, changing our look, our style, doing something fresh with our appearance that would help to, rejuvenate us and give us a little bit of excitement as we were going into the new year. And this time we're going to talk about our bodies and our health. So, right up my alley.
Yes.
That's what we're going to be talking about tonight as we're creating a fresh start in the new year.
Yes. And
So,
Sheronda needs to create an alley. I got a little alley. It's a little walkway right now.
okay, it's all right. It still exists,
It exists. It does.
even if it's a small little path. It's all about creating healthy habits. That was what the
Yeah.
365-day challenge was about. And now, like I said, it's about execution. What are
Yes.
some things that we can do? What are some things that we've learned? What are some things that we put in our toolbox that are, going to assist us in moving that needle closer to overall wellness?
I love it.
Okay. And so this time we're starting with changing our eating and exercise routine. And I
Mhm.
say changing our eating routine because, it's not just, some people are, have an aversion to that word diet,
Yeah.
and what does that mean? What we're doing is we're changing how and what we eat. So, those are things that are important when we're talking about making changes, making sure
Absolutely.
that we're using the right verbiage and that we're not setting ourselves up for, self sabotage. Sometimes we say things, and if it's a buzzword or it's something has a negative connotation to it,
Yeah.
then we tend to already have an aversion to it before we even start.
Being a start.
We want to
Absolutely.
say changing your eating/exercise routine. Okay. And one thing that we want to do is before we make any changes to our eating or exercise routine, we want to make sure that we consult our doctor, dietitian, health coach, nutritionist, whoever it is that you are seeking help or assistance in. We want to make sure that we consult with them first, and see what that looks like. We want to make sure that we have someone who's going to partner with us in this effort, because if it's something we've been struggling with for a long time,
Exactly.
we're going to need some assistance. We're going to need somebody who may be able to help hold us accountable for the
Yeah.
things that we're going to do as we're making these changes. And so we definitely want to start, gathering the troops, making sure
Yeah.
that we have those people who are knowledgeable, in our corner to assist us as we're, going into this process.
Exactly. Every diet or eating routine isn't for everyone. Everything doesn't work for everyone. You may want to be vegan, but you have to know, according to your health, how you could transition to that. Somebody who's diabetic, somebody who's high blood pressure, you have to take different considerations
Right.
into how you enter into a new eating habit. Even
Right.
for myself, with dealing with living with diabetes, I can't just automatically shut off certain things because my body requires a certain level of protein. My body requires a certain level of some sugar, certain types of sugars, and being mindful that I can't eat just like everyone else. So
Right.
I love that this is the first one. The first
Right.
thing y'all need to know is consult your doctor.
Right.
Yay. And even when it comes to exercise, I learned that even during being pregnant, if you weren't exercising a lot before you got pregnant, they don't want you to just automatically start going to the gym
Right.
because you're pregnant, because that really can influence your body, how you gain, lose weight, and even the baby itself. So
Right.
you always want to make sure you're contacting a professional when you're changing your eating and exercise routine.
Absolutely. Just like you said, especially when you're talking about the exercise routine, because they're not for everyone. If you got bad knees, bad hip, you got issues with your spine, you have issues with your feet, ankles, there are all kinds of things. So we want to make sure we're not doing a routine that's going to make a pre-existing condition worse.
Yes.
So you definitely want to consult them, and make sure that you know if they're doing any type of blood work or anything like that, that what may be some deficiencies. So that way, as you're setting up your
Yes.
exercise routine, that you're making sure that you're incorporating things that you may be deficient in,
Mhm.
and being able to do that naturally is something
Yes.
that's important. So
Kim, I hit 45. I call myself head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Listen, 45 came around and my body was like that hip right there and that elbow and that the trigger finger.
I
What?
know.
Trigger finger? Why is my knuckle hurt? What do you mean I got trigger? I never shot. I ain't shooting guns out here like this.
All right, right,
But it's
right.
really just because getting older and you're using certain joints for so long,
That's
you have
right.
to be mindful of those things. You don't, like Kim said, you don't want to hurt yourself going into
No,
a new
absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you want to kind of know where you are before you get to where you're going. You know, you want to have that starting place.
baseline.
That's right. It's important.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
So we also want to talk about making sure that we set those annual physicals. Okay. And that includes your eye exam, that includes your dental cleaning and oral exams. So making sure that you're setting, exams to be done annually, especially as we're getting older. I am going to be entering my 56th year of life. Okay. So it is so
I
important.
don't believe
Okay.
you. We
Look,
need
I'm on the
more
block. I'm on the
people.
block heading towards 60. What? Okay. And so it is important that, we go for those annual physicals, that we go for those eye exams, because things are changing with our vision. I can't see at night when I'm driving. Okay. All I see is reflections. And if I
Reflection.
don't know where I'm going, it's very difficult for me to get to where I'm going at night. And so that's why you see a lot of people who get to a certain age, they're just like, no, after a certain time, I'm
Yeah.
not going outside. I'm trying to get home before the sun sets.
Yes. Outside
Because
looks
it's
like brunch.
difficult. Yeah.
You want to go to
It's
brunch?
yeah, it's difficult to see. I can't see
Mm-mm.
well. And so I noticed that my prescription changes. One thing that's also good about eye exams is they tell you certain things as well.
Yes.
I
Yes.
remember when I was first diagnosed with diabetes back in 2000.
Mhm.
What happened was maybe 6 months before that, I went to the eye doctor, to do my exam. And the doctor said, do you have diabetes? And I was like, no. But apparently they saw something in my eyes and he was just like, okay. And I was like, huh, I wonder what he said. And then 6 months later, I was diagnosed with diabetes. But sometimes they can see those things even in your eyes. And
Nice.
so, different exams are going to tell different things about the rest of your body. Same thing with your dental. If your teeth are jacked, okay, if your teeth are looking like piano keys, I'm sorry to say it that way, if you're not properly cleaning your teeth, okay,
Mhm.
then what can happen is you're not chewing and digesting your food properly because you have poor oral health.
Hygiene.
So all of these things are connected. All
Yeah,
of these things can be affected. Your eyesight, your dental work, all these things can be affected and can affect the way we eat and process food. So
absolutely.
those things are critical.
Yes. Well, I remember one mother, she went for her eye exam and they found out, well, she's a yearly person. That's just, she gonna do that. But she went for a yearly one year and she found out she had cataracts.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that she does it yearly and caught it so early, she had the surgery and it didn't grow back. Because a lot of times when you wait too long,
Yes,
now you're battling with something way more than you would have if you just did your yearly exam. So
exactly.
that's a great example.
Yeah.
Little things that you don't even notice. I'm going to go a little spiritual with this real quick, Kim, in terms of when it comes to physicality. Is
Yes.
one thing I like to practice for myself is when I'm in my bath, I like to create awareness of my body. So I give
Yes.
thanks to everything. So when I wash, number one, I use Dr. Teal's because it has Epsom salt in it
Mm-hmm.
for more than one reason. I need the
Yes.
Epsom salt, okay?
Yes.
But I give thanks to each part. And so I'm mindful of my
Yes.
arms and my shoulder. And well, that's how you discover the lumps.
That's
The
right.
lumps, something that's changed. All of a sudden, a mole that wasn't there is now there. Skin tag that
Right.
was a little small has
Yes.
gotten bigger. So
Yes.
being mindful of your body helps you when you go into the doctor's office. You can say, "This right here feels a little funny." So your physical exams also includes what you do for your body. We know it's supposed to do breast exams, right?
Right.
That's something that men and women should be doing because men get breast cancer as well. So
Right.
making sure you're paying attention to your physical body makes all the difference in the world in early detection because you want to
Yes.
detect this stuff as early as you can. And we ain't gonna talk about the teeth because some of y'all walking around here like somebody gave them to you and threw them back in your mouth. They use like here and then went flat and they just
Yeah.
landed where they wanted to.
Yeah.
Sometimes I lost a couple of teeth with my children
Mhm.
for some reason when I was pregnant. And the doctor said, the dentist said, they were stealing calcium apparently.
Yes.
So it's coming from my teeth. So I had
Yeah.
to get teeth pulled on both sides from my when I was pregnant. But at the same time, you got to be mindful of the flossing, doing what
Absolutely.
you're doing on a regular basis. Making sure you're
Yes.
brushing your teeth morning and night, and
Yeah.
making sure you're not eating things that are too sticky. This is my favorite type of candy.
Okay.
Some gummy
Okay.
worms or something that's gonna make me a fruit snack. I
Okay.
love those.
Okay.
But then make sure you brush your teeth.
Yes. I mean, and like you said, it's critical because, like I said, especially if you have gum disease or things that are hereditary. My
Hereditary.
mom, I have gum disease that is hereditary. My mom has gum disease,
Mhm,
and she
mhm.
has to still have surgeries and things with her teeth. I,
Wow.
I was told that plaque was the only thing that was keeping teeth in my mouth. I had to
Wow.
have oral surgery. I had to have partials. I have
Mhm,
organs. Everybody talks about how beautiful my smile is. Yes, it was. And then my teeth started filing for separation. They started going left and right. They were not, they were no longer together. And
yo.
so I had to go in and I had to have oral work done. I had to have surgeries done and things like that to get my teeth back to a place where it was I had to be able to remove those teeth and
Yeah,
get partials and things of
yeah.
that nature because that was the only way I was going to be able to properly chew and
Yes.
digest my food. That was
Ooh,
important. So you can't take those things for granted. You
yes.
have to take corrective actions if necessary so
Yes.
that way you're not doing further harm to your body.
Mhm.
Listen to what your body is saying. Do the things that are necessary so that your body can function in an optimal level.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to put aside any type of pride or anything else like that. Oh, I don't want to have glasses on. They have so many stylish classes. We talked about that in the last
Mhm.
show that we had. So you can make it fashionable. Okay.
Yes.
It's fashionable for me to be able to smile and have a good smile, but it's more important for me to be able to process my food.
Food, yes.
So those
Mhm,
things are critical, you
mhm,
know.
mhm.
All right. And then lastly, you have down there, document those ailments or concerns, just like what you were talking about. If you have a skin tag or you have a lump or you see something, make sure that you're documenting those things because, we wait an hour to go in and sit and talk to the doctor. And then, they put you on a clock for 5 minutes. You're going to sit down for this copayment. If I pay a $40 copayment, I'm going to give you about $40 worth of questions.
Period.
On period. Okay. I'm going to ask as many questions and I'm going to make sure that I write down things that way I don't forget.
Yeah.
Because we always do that. We get up in there, we say, oh, when I get to the doctor, I'm going to ask them this, that, and the third. And then you get in there and they so busy trying to push you out the door that all of a sudden, as soon as you get out the door and you get ready to go to the parking lot, oh man, I forgot to ask about this. You go back in there, they're gone. The whole office is shut down. You're like, what happened? Everybody's gone. I just went down the elevator and went back up and everybody's gone. They shut the whole building down. So make sure that you document anything that you see going on. And then sometimes it takes so long. You got to wait 4 or 5 months to get an appointment. You're going to forget what it was by the time you get there. You better write it down. Because sometimes those things don't just go away. They may have gotten worse.
Yeah.
So you want to document.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, I work with parents who have children with mental health illnesses. And part of my training, I got a form called Preparing for My Appointment. So anything that the parents, I send it to each parent. Make sure you fill out this form before you go to the doctor's office, especially when they say to me, I don't like how this medication is affecting my child, or I don't know if this is working correctly, or they're behaving this way. You need to document this stuff because you will forget. There's something about going to the doctor's office. Mm-hmm. I know for me what it is. Why make an appointment with you for 1 o'clock? I get there at 12:30 and I don't get back till 2 o'clock. By the time I get back there at 2 o'clock, I'm heated and forgot everything. I'm so mad about sitting down being here for an hour and a half.
That's right.
Before I even get to the back, I didn't even say see the doctor.
Right.
That's been going on for years at this point with doctor's offices with me. So now I've learned, even if I text myself, just text yourself what's going on with you, so you can go back and look inside your phone and be like, this. If I had to wait, they're gonna have to wait. The next person in the next room gonna wait. I'm not scared at all.
Oh yes.
I'm with Kim on that one.
Yes, my doctor knows. She just comes in and she sits down and she's just like, okay, Kim, I know you have questions. Yes, I do. Okay, because we don't want them to just put a Band-Aid on things. I'm asking, okay, this is happening. What is something that I can do in the interim? Because sometimes they give you a prescription and then you go and your insurance may not cover it. Yeah. And then, so if my insurance doesn't cover it and I can't get that particular medication, what is something that I can do in the interim until we see each other in another 6 months or so? Am I just supposed to suffer, or is there something that I can be doing? Is there something that I should be eating or not eating that's going to make this worse? We have to be advocates for ourselves and for our health. And so we have to be able to ask those questions. Or if we're having certain symptoms, to be able to say, I've researched these symptoms and this is what they're saying these symptoms are. And then let the doctor be the one to say, okay, well, that's not exactly what it is. Well, tell me what else it could be.
Yes.
Start the conversation as to, addressing those ailments. That is something that is so critical. I cannot say that enough. Advocate for your health and for your
Dr. Google is not always the answer. Go to the doctor.
Right. That's right. Go to the doctor. And if you're not sure or you feel like, I'm not really feeling that, then get a second opinion.
Yes.
But get a first one first.
Please.
Not from your auntie or your uncle or anybody else, your cousins, them. You know what I'm talking about. Don't do that. Make sure that you are, going to a licensed physician, somebody who's going to be able to help.
Okay? I love it.
Let's roll on.
So we're going to continue to talk about changing your eating and exercise routine. So beginning to eliminate ultra-processed foods. Oh, that's a big one for me. Read labels and choose foods that have ingredients you can replicate in your kitchen. I love that. For me, I look at stuff that doesn't have 1 trillion ingredients.
Right.
Once that list gets to a paragraph, there's something wrong. There's something just not right about that. Like I said it before, ever since Kim told me about them Lay's, it's the plain Lay's, and I got the 3 ingredients in it. Right. Those are my hoes. I mean, those are my chips. You know what I'm saying? That's us now.
Right.
Not all the time, but if I need it, because I'm not a big chip person anyway. Right. But if I want one, that's what it's going to be. Be
Right.
mindful of the things that are processed. You're gonna the natural stuff is gonna be clear. You want to buy fresh as often as you can, but
Right.
you're paying attention to all the cookies and the sugary things and the
Right.
cheeses. There's certain things that just go overboard with their ingredients. I love that it said to replicate in your kitchen. If I can
Correct.
go in the kitchen and pull out certain ingredients from my pantry, from
Right.
my fridge, from my freezer, then I know it's going to be healthier for me to eat.
Right.
And that's important. One thing I just learned, let me say this real quick
Hmm.
about these ultra processed foods. My kid took my kids to the dentist. I don't know why it didn't occur to me because when you think of dentist, I think of sugar messing
Right.
up your teeth. I found out that Doritos, them Takis, I don't eat none of them anyway.
Right.
Doritos, Takis, anything with red dye in it now. Growing up, they never said nothing about red dye.
Right.
Our food probably wasn't heavily caught up in red dye when we were growing up. But now anything that has that red dye in it, those chips and the Cheetos, or the
Right.
hot Cheetos, the hot all on fry, they are messing up your teeth because they're
Yep.
ultra processed because of all of the ingredients that are in them.
Right, right. And I love it, and I love that we wrote down ultra processed food because there tends to sometimes be some confusion when you talk about processed and
Processed.
ultra processed food. Okay, processed food, when you take food in its natural state, and
Mhm,
like say you have an onion and you chop that onion up or you saute it or something like that. That's when you're processing it.
mhm,
You're just changing it from its natural state.
yeah,
Now, ultra processed foods is when you're doing those additives and those preservatives and things like that.
mhm,
So every type of food, as soon as we manipulate it from its natural state, it's considered processed.
yeah,
If we slice that tomato, it's no longer in its natural state. It's being chopped up, or it's being
mhm,
pureed, or we're blending it. We're not we're not taking the nutrients and things per
mhm,
se out of it. So that is a level of processing. Anything we do to manipulate it.
yeah,
But when we talk about ultra processed food, that's where you're talking about those dyes and you're talking about those additives and preservatives and all those things that like you said, you're not going to find in your kitchen unless you're a scientist. Okay, you can't replicate those things.
yeah,
You can chop up an onion and you're processing it, but you're not taking away from it. When you're adding all of
yes,
these additives and preservatives to it, that's when it becomes ultra processed, and you want to make sure that you're starting to eliminate those things from your diet.
exactly.
So I love that.
And that goes into this next one that says opt for natural food choices, including fruits and vegetables. Add more protein to each meal you consume. So, sometimes it's hard to get around some forms of processing, right? You're going to freeze some things.
Right,
If you can, you buy the stuff, cut it up yourself, and freeze it yourself.
right,
But sometimes you buy the frozen peaches, you buy the frozen spinach, and they have a little bit of processing in it because they're preserving them a certain way better than canned foods
right.
most of the time, type thing. But I've learned, especially with that adding more protein, you're more full
Correct.
with adding more protein. People don't realize you can eat more meat than you actually do a lot of times in a setting, and eliminating some carbs or very small amounts of carbs. And then, especially the fresh veggies, we want to go fresh as much as we can.
Right,
All things in balance. There's no judgment here. We don't want you to make you
right,
feel like you got to go clear out your whole pantry, freezer, and everything. But if you're going to buy them little sugary little Debbie's, I don't have nothing for her fat ass no more. Anyway, I don't have nothing for her. But if you're going to eat it, try to buy as many fresh fruits and veggies at the same
right,
time so you're balancing your diet off and
right,
you're drinking plenty of water so you can flush some of this stuff out your system. I can't
right.
even talk about water enough when I talk to people about this
Okay.
stuff. But for
Okay.
myself, fruits and veggies have a lot of hydration in them. When you're
Yeah.
buying that celery, when you're buying that grapefruit and those oranges and stuff,
Watermelon.
you will get with that watermelon, you're
Child.
getting a lot of hydration that's going to help
Yes.
the little bit of processing that you do get in your body flush back out.
That's it. But one thing, like you said, that's important is, it says begin eliminating.
Yeah.
You the things that they're putting in food, the additives and things that they're putting in food, there are things that they're putting in there that are addictive. So, when we talk about, some people talk about food being a drug.
Yes.
It can have things in it that are going to, cause your body to go through withdrawals if you just stop cold turkey.
Yeah.
So, you start eliminating a few of those things. And like you said, replacing them with other things that are going to help. Things like you said, that have more protein in it, that are going to keep you more full,
Yes.
but you're going to go through withdrawals
Yeah.
and aches and pains and mood swings and things like that as you begin to eliminate these things.
Ooh.
Because all of those processes, and I mean processing and things that they put in the food, we have so much of it in our systems because we've been eating those things for so long. It's going to take time for it to exit our body, and for our body to rejuvenate and restore and repair itself, to begin to reject those things. It's
Exactly.
going to be a process. So, just like you said, no judgment
Yeah.
here, but it's important that we start looking at what it is that we're putting in our bodies, and trying to see what healthier choices we can make, but know that there are going to be some withdrawals that are going to come with that, you
Absolutely.
know? So,
Yeah. And,
same, be
I'm
aware.
going to go into that last one and still piggybacking off what Kim is saying right now. Consume drinks that promote hydration, avoid carbonate and sugary drinks. When she's talking about that withdrawal, initially I remember that feeling like you get jittery. You can feel your body saying, "What is wrong with me? Why don't I have that stuff I used to have?" However, on the other side of it is when you stop doing all those sodas and sugary drinks, if you taste one, it's too sweet. All of a sudden, once you get on the other side of those withdrawals, you
That's right.
notice, I can't even tolerate this right now.
Hmm.
Something me and my household started back to at the beginning of this year is doing the like lemon water with a
Hmm.
lemon and mint water, cucumber lemon and mint water, cucumber water. Like I'm buying the fresh
Right.
veggies and herbs, putting it inside, and infusing my water with the flavors. That can last us a whole week. One pitcher, we just keep refilling it with water, refilling it with water, and I'm so much more hydrated from that than even just regular water that it feels amazing. And
Yeah.
so just tasting something, I rarely like if I get a soda, it is gonna be like a Coke Zero or Pepsi Zero. If
Yes. Yes.
when I want a good belch, a Sprite
Yes.
Zero. I try to go for Sprite Zero because clear. I really try to stick to stuff that's a little more clear because it doesn't
Hmm.
have as many things in it.
Yes.
But if I need a little belch, but it'll still take me about 2 days to drink a 20-ounce soda because I don't
Right.
drink them often. So your body knows
Right.
how to recompense. It knows how to put
Yes.
itself together after you release some of these things. Trust me, it doesn't feel good. Nothing feels
Right.
good when that man didn't feel. It didn't feel good when you left that man at first, but you got over
We'll
him.
get there. Right.
So
Right.
you'll get over them jitters. I promise.
Yes, there's a
Oh,
detoxification process that
absolutely.
takes place. I don't know how we got there, but yes. I mean, the thing is, we have to get to a place where you know, where we're uncomfortable. I mean, where we're comfortable with being uncomfortable. There's a process that our body has to go through. We have to go through those withdrawals, but it's important to make sure that we're putting things in its place with
Yes.
regards to, like you said, that hydration. If you know, I think it's always great to start the morning. When I keep a bottle of water by my bed when I wake up in the morning. That's the
Yes.
first thing I do because you've got all kinds of sludge and all kinds of
All that.
mucus and things that are in your body, and so it's good to start off the day drinking that bottle of water. Sometimes that may be the only bottle of water that you have for the day, but at least start
Need
out with
something.
cleansing your system, cleansing your palate, everything in preparation for what you're going to have during the course of the day.
That's true.
But you want to find things that if you can't, if your tolerance for water is, then like you said, find those fruits and vegetables that are hydrating. I
Yes.
absolutely love watermelon. I can eat watermelon every day, all day. I love it. It's not that much in season right now, so I'm like, doesn't quite taste right.
Yeah, not
So
right.
I'm drinking my water, but I get a lot of my hydration from things like watermelon and other types of fruits
Mhm.
and vegetables that are going to give me that hydration that I need. So hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. That's going to help to flush so many things out of your system. So
Yeah.
that
You know
hydration
something
is key.
else that hurts my little feelings that could be dehydrating? Coffee and tea. When I found out that the devil put his hand in my dang on coffee, in my dang on tea, because I like me a good green tea every so often. I want me a
Yes,
nice full cup of
yes,
ice to put the ice in there and make my green tea and
yes.
pour it over. it's so good, and it has its positive qualities for your body, but it
Yes.
could also be dehydrating, and I can taste it after a while. If I get it
Mhm.
like a good sized cup, towards
Yes.
the end, I feel thirstier. I feel thirsty
Mm.
at the end of that. And
Yeah.
my coffee ain't going nowhere. I started drinking mushroom now. I did start drinking
Yes.
mushroom
I
coffee.
drink my mushroom coffee every day and I have decaf, so it's not for the caffeine, it's just because my office is like a brick and I just
Yeah,
need something
it's so
hot,
tasty. It's so
but I can go to warm water too if necessary. But yeah. Yeah.
my energy levels are higher with like it don't feel like fake energy. Like regular coffee
Right.
is there's a crash. It's coming.
Right. Right.
But mushroom, it feels like a natural energy that I have when
Yes.
I drink the one. It
And I
has
don't feel
caffeine
as
in it.
bloated. I don't it
Absolutely.
helps with
Mhm.
inflammation for me as well. So
Yes, me
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So like you said, you don't have to give up everything and you don't have to give things all at once. It's
Mhm.
like, okay, let me have this in moderation. You may not have it every day. You may have it a couple of times during the week, where it's not where you're feeling like you're being punished or you're being deprived. It's
Yes.
just starting to make some of those changes and make them minimal. Do
Yes.
it in steps, do it in stages until your body becomes comfortable with that. Then go on to the next thing.
Yep.
Don't try to do everything at one time because then you're going to be like, you know what, this is too much. I'm going back. Let me go ahead and get them Doritos. Let me go ahead and get that
Right.
that fried chicken over there while I'm contemplating on how I'm going, what my next steps are going to be.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Kim,
Yeah.
fried foods, like especially if
Oh
G's
yeah.
frying some chicken, for some reason now all of a sudden it smells too gamey for me. Like I can
Mm,
hardly even eat chicken right now. I don't know what
yes.
happened all of a sudden, but just
Yeah.
the smell of it. I have them open it. It's cold. I got the window cracked in the kitchen and got the fan going above it because that. But again, it's that shifting your diet when you're shifting things and
Yes.
you're taking in more non-processed things. Your
Yeah.
body kind of doesn't want stuff after a while.
Yeah. Yeah. My thing last year, I can't eat lunch meat. I cannot eat that process. It turns my stomach. My stomach is like, what is that? What are we eating? What is that? My body can no longer eat that meat. And some things your body is going to begin to reject.
Yeah.
As you're eating healthy, as you're making changes, certain things are not going to taste the same. My daughter had Doritos the other day, and I was like, let me have I ain't had a Dorito in a minute. I was like,
It
why does it
wasn't
taste
hitting.
like that?
Wasn't even
All of a
hitting.
sudden, it just does not taste good to me. Certain things are going to, your palate changes, things are going to begin to change. And it's just a matter of saying, okay, am I going to roll with it or am I not?
Yeah.
I asked myself a little while ago, I said, well, I haven't eaten pork or beef. And like I said, it's going on 20 years. Now I was like, now what if hypothetically all of a sudden you know, all you could eat was pork and beef. There was nothing else to eat in this world but pork and beef. I said, now what would happen? Would I starve?
Oh my
Or
God.
would I begin to eat it, be deathly ill for a while, and then after a couple of days or about a
Your
week like
body
that, I'd be
adjusts.
right back to eating pork or beef because our body is a beast. It learns to adapt to certain things, you know, according to what's available.
Yes.
So
That's the
that's
truth.
something that's powerful. It's like you can always go back to it, because your body will go back, it will adjust to certain things, based on what's available,
Based on what's going
but it just goes to show how much of a beast our body is.
And I'm gonna go there real quick. What I've learned about that specific thing when it comes to sociology, certain neighborhoods don't have access to healthier foods. They don't have healthier food options. I paid attention, even the corner store near here, because y'all know I don't live in the hood. I'm hood adjacent. Let's be clear about where I live.
I am put adjacent as
I'm
well.
hood adjacent. I don't live in the hood, but it's down the street.
I like that.
It's not far, okay? It's hood adjacent. Okay.
I love it.
But it's interesting. I could walk into one of the corner stores and there's zero diet drinks. None. Like they have no Gatorade zeros, no nothing.
Right,
It's stacked full of cracklins, Slim Jims, candy. It has everything.
right,
And when people don't have access to transportation, they don't always take a public transportation. Maybe they can't walk to the store, don't have anybody, or that's the closest thing, and they're getting food from close by. You don't have access, your body acclimates to anything. It's going to go ahead and switch to, oh, I love all these Slim Jims and all that stuff. It's going to react to it. But that's what I love that you said that, because it's like you have to pay attention to what you have access to and what you choose to have access to. We got to make better choices. One of the big things I remember too, salt. When I first started lessening the amount of salt I had in my diet, food
Mhm.
tasted kind of bland.
Mhm.
I felt like white people. The flavor.
Well.
But I learned to pick up different seasonings
Right.
and that weren't high in sodium or no sodium
Or
at all.
salt-free, right?
Yeah, and just be able to fix it up differently, and I was able to enjoy my food. So now if I eat a little bit of something, sometimes it's just way too salty.
Right.
So pay attention to what you have access to. Be aware of your community.
Yes.
Be aware of community opportunities, because around here, even with that being true, especially when spring and summer starts back up, and these older
Mhm.
folks who got their little gardens, they will bring.
Mhm.
They have a park up here. You go up there and they give away free sweet potatoes, sweet.
Yes.
Just everything they pull from their garden. You got eggplant, and everything.
Yes.
They go to the store and they'll buy berries and stuff and give away to the community. So be mindful of what you have access to and what you don't know you actually have access to.
I love that. That's powerful. That's powerful because that's true. Think about as African Americans, as slaves, they only had access to certain foods. So they had to eat what they had.
Had available.
And so, sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes we have to make the best choice that we can make in the situation that we're in.
Yeah.
I travel a lot. And so sometimes, when I'm making food choices, I don't take my kitchen with me.
Right.
But if I have to go and eat somewhere, what I'm going to do is make the best choice that I can,
Yeah.
given the menu that's before me. So, it may not always be the best choice for you, but
Yeah.
it's the best choice in that particular situation at that particular time.
Right.
Then you go back to what your regularly scheduled routine is, once you can,
When you can.
you know. So I
Yeah.
love that. I love that you brought that up. That's powerful because
Mhm.
that's true. We definitely have to consider availability. All right.
Mhm.
All right, let's move on. Now we're talking about exercise. Okay. One thing that we can do is we can start a new exercise routine that's based on your ability. Like I said
Mm.
earlier, you may have issues. If somebody says, "Oh, I'm going to follow this exercise program," and they starting out with jumping jacks, and I know I got bad knees and bad hips, I'm not jumping nowhere. Okay. Sometimes people may be like, "Where my breasts are set up, I'm not jumping anywhere. I'm not going any number of inches off the ground."
They jump further
Okay.
than I do.
Okay. Okay. That's true. Okay. Or I can be a person like myself who has issues with my spine. I can't get on treadmills. I can't jog. I can't walk long distances. I can walk some, but I cannot walk long distances. So
Mhm.
I have to create a exercise routine based on my ability.
Yes.
I do a lot of my exercises seated,
Yes.
but I can do my strength training and I can use my weights and my kettlebells and other things like that. I sit on my yoga ball and do things. So you have to do things based on your ability.
Absolutely.
You know?
Something I'm really gotten back into is parking a little further. Because I'm like
Hmm.
you, I can't walk far because of the surgery I had on my foot. And
Right.
more recently, just a little hip pain. But I could walk from, if I get to Kroger and I park towards the back, I could walk from there
Right.
to the store, through the
Right.
store, and back, versus always looking for the closest park spot,
Right.
circling the block about 15 times so I can find the first one. I'm not doing all that. I'll
Right.
go back here so I can move my body a little bit more. Like Kim said, seating exercises. Y'all, if y'all been watching for a while, y'all know Kim gave me one of those little bikes that you do when you can
Yes.
sit. I'm gonna sit down and do that, and
That's right.
just pedal a little bit. I look a little crazy wobbly at times, but that's all right. I keep doing things. I have some weights. I can sit down and do the weights. Go on
That's it.
YouTube, y'all,
Oh my
and
goodness.
type in seated exercises.
Oh,
They have
absolutely.
a plethora
Absolutely.
of videos that you can
Plethora.
do using
Yes.
your own body weight in order
Yes.
to exercise according to what Kim said, your ability.
That's it. That
Yeah.
is so critical to be able to do that because sometimes that's what people do. You don't tell them that you have any issues, and so when they give you an exercise plan or you go to to a gym, they say, okay, well we're going to start out with doing jumping jacks. Like I said, I'm just going to stick with that and say, and they're like, well, I got bad knees. Have they even asked you what your abilities are or if there are any issues that you have? Because
Yes.
we want to make sure that we're not making them worse.
Yep.
There are certain exercises that I can't do because they will
It
damage my
will.
spine. They will cause more harm than good. So it's so important to do things based on your ability, and to start out with something small. Start out with something, like the second thing says, focus on the areas of your body that need toning and strengthening. As I get older, it is so much more important for me to do strength training every day than it is for me to do cardio,
Yeah,
because your bones are beginning to degenerate as you get older.
they do.
And so, you really want to make sure that you're keeping up with that muscle strength. You want to make sure that you're focusing on your ankles and your shins and your knees, because those are the things that are going to be first things to go. So
Making
you
the
want to
challenge,
focus on
Sharonda the pony.
that.
Those are the knees I got. I got pony. The one that just fell on his mama. I mean, the one that, you know how they look when they just get birth?
I can't. I cannot. No, I cannot. Not phony knees.
Sharonda the pony. Girl, these knees. But look, I came through in the 99 2000s.
I
It was percolating
wasn't ready.
everything.
I
Butterfly.
wasn't ready.
I'm just
But that's it. Like, you're too much. You're too much. Okay, but this was it. You focus on the body parts that need toning. If you got bat wings, focus on your arms. If you got a little jiggle between your legs, and you talking about getting out there in the bikinis and you don't want like elephant legs or anything else like that, you want to focus on those areas that need toning and strengthening. Okay,
yeah.
that's so critical. You know, make sure that you're doing those things. Like you said, there are
I got
so
cute
many
little
things. We
wrists.
sit so much. We
But this
sit
right
so
here,
much.
look like
Yes,
look
that
like I make the
wing.
best potato salad. I look like I
Okay,
make the best.
but
I
that's it.
understand. But I know
Focus.
what needs to be toned. I've
Yes.
been working on them too.
Yes. And there are so many different exercise routines that, like you said, you can find online and things like that that focus on different areas of your body.
Yep.
You don't want to focus on one thing. You don't want to, look like a triangle. You're all buffed and ripped on top, and then you got them little pigeon legs or little bird legs because you haven't strengthened and toned those.
Right.
How you gonna keep all that upper body, all those rippling muscles, if you
Thank
can't even, if you got little baby ankles, and they're gonna snap in half.
you. And half.
You
Look,
should not look like a whole triangle like that, where it's getting smaller as you get to the bottom. You want to be able to tone so that way your body has good shape, you know? So you
yeah.
want to work on that,
Do you know
you
how
know?
Jesus saved me?
How do you save you? How?
Girl Scout cookies ain't good as they used to be. They're not the same. They're not the same.
They're not the same, and the box has gotten smaller,
So,
but the price is going up.
the price was going up.
What you gonna do?
Because I used to go through a sleeve. But I'm just trying to, I just opened it. Who ate the rest of it?
You're looking on the floor like, where'd they go? Where'd they
So
go?
Jesus saved me with Girl Scout cookies. Because I just got a text from my sister talking about, make sure you order your Girl Scout cookies. And
You are ridiculous.
you set up. This is set up.
Okay, so get thee behind me, Satan. Okay, because yes, yes, all of
He
those
walked,
things
with,
are
he
gonna come.
walked to me and he talked to me.
Okay, okay. So ridiculous. But just like you said, we want to be able to work them off too. We want to be able to work those cookies and those things off. Okay. But they say you can't outrun a good diet. I mean, a bad diet.
A bad diet.
So don't just think you're going to run. Oh, well, I ate 12 donuts. I'm just going to go get on the treadmill and run all of that off. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
I
That's not
remember when I was 2021, I would just hold my stomach in for one day, just, sucking in and being mindful. And the stomach was gone. It was just gone.
wow.
Now I don't do nothing and it gets bigger. I don't do nothing.
All you do
I
is
didn't
breathe.
do anything.
All you do is breathe.
I'm just trying to take my deep breaths and breathe
All
appropriately. Now my
right.
diaphragm is sticking out to the
Oh,
table. What?
I can't.
So y'all gotta be mindful. Even that, I'm gonna put that out there too. The age thing is different.
Oh, absolutely.
It's different. It's different when
Absolutely.
you were in your 20s versus your 40s trying to work
Absolutely.
out and your ability to lose weight.
That's
and how
right.
your hormones are processing things.
Yeah.
Be mindful of all of that. So we said consult the doctor.
That's it. You hear that all the time. People are like, oh, back in the day, I used to be able to eat anything. And now, okay. And now you're not 20 anymore. And
This
now it's
air
20
they
years
make has
later.
calories. The air has calories now. I don't care what
Right.
nobody say.
Right. Right. Your body changes and you have to adapt with those changes in your body.
You have
And
to.
that's why it's also, you want to get to a place where you're eliminating,
Yeah.
having to take medication, because certain medications and things like that are causing weight
Oh,
gain, causing hormonal changes and things of that nature. And
the
so
sugar
those all
cane.
play a part in
Mhm.
how your body is going to process the food, what it's going to eliminate.
Yes.
We've been told so many things that you know it puts us in a place of confusion. I just have to say it that way because we're told, oh well, oh, I didn't poop today. I was listening to a doctor recently and he was saying every time you eat, you should be pooping afterwards because your body should be eliminating those things that it doesn't need.
Yeah.
And so if you just say, oh well, I pooped one time a day, but did you eat once? If you ate more than that, it's not normal. But certain things we've normalized.
Yes.
And
Not a
so
good
we
look.
have to, be, careful about where we're getting information from and making sure that we're getting it from a reputable source or from someone who knows what they're talking about when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to diet, when it comes
Yeah.
to exercise, things like that. One thing that you mentioned, even when we talk about environment, there are people who may, like you said, live in the hood, who may have to take public transportation and may have to walk distances. And you say, well, how you would think, well, everybody in the hood should be paper thin, because if they're walking everywhere and they're having to do, your body, like I said, is a beast.
Yeah.
Your body gets used to walking 2 miles every
Yeah.
day from the bus stop and back. After a while, it's going to be like, okay, we're not doing this for weight loss or for toning of the body. We're doing this because it's necessary for us to get from one place to another. So your body adapts to that. And if you don't do anything above and beyond that, your body's like, oh, this is what we normally, this is what we do every day.
Yeah.
So I don't care if you walk 10 miles every day. After a while, it's not going to affect your weight
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you're still not eating properly.
Yeah.
Eventually your body gets used to those things. And that's why they say change up your routines.
Yes.
You want to start out, like it says down here at the bottom, set short-term attainable goals.
Mm-hmm.
Start
Mm-hmm.
out small, but then eventually you want to build on those things.
Yeah.
Eventually you want to add on, you want to change things up, because your body gets used to doing things a certain way. And then after a while, it's not going to be as effective as it was.
Exactly. And even going to what you're talking about, the routines and everything, and how your body changes and adapts to something you think you're doing is going to help me lose weight, but then it all of a sudden it doesn't. You can't be somebody who starves your body. Your body even knows when you're trying to do that.
Right.
Your body is going to hold on to every single calorie that it can in order to suffice, at least in its own mind, if you're
Right.
trying not to eat often. So setting like a short-term attainable goal, if you're somebody who doesn't normally eat 3 meals a day, you eat 2. Well, you're gonna have to change that up because your body's accustomed to that. You may have to do several small meals a day
Right.
to get that metabolism to realize, oh, I do have something to burn now. Let me go ahead and do that. So that might look like 5 tiny meals, or what I'm saying, just little things, snacking, a grazer,
Right.
even grazing throughout the day can get your metabolism. So that's a short term. So this week I'm going to try to carry around some, like I buy the trail mixes,
Yes.
yogurt covered raisins and the almonds and the walnuts. I love them, child. Because then I grab a handful because I'm not the best at eating 3 meals a day. I really am
Right.
not. I can eat an apple, at one point in the morning. I'll eat a handful or two because I'm yogurt covered raisins. Anyway, I'll eat a couple of handfuls of those. Then
Right.
later on, I might eat a sandwich. So you're great. You're figuring out how to get your body to recognize to burn at all, but make
That's
a short term attainable goal. Those goals, when you do it, you didn't eat the whole cake at one
right.
gulp. You ate it in pieces. So
Right.
when you set a goal, it has to be in pieces. And
Right.
for me, Kim, it's not even I'm going to lose X amount of pounds this month. For me, it's just what am I going to do activity wise? I don't
Right.
even think about the weight loss anymore.
Right.
At that
Right.
point in my life where I just don't want to put those type of numbers on me. But sure,
Right.
I'm going to work out or do
Right.
some type of cardio for 30 minutes a day for
Right.
5 days a week.
Right. Because sometimes you're not going to be a pound hound. You're going to be an inchworm. You may lose weight in inches and things like that. And then, like they say, you're not a slave to the scale. Throw the scale away. Unless you have one of those scales that measures your visceral and your
Yeah.
subcutaneous fat, all of those things. And those can be a little daunting as well. How do your clothes feel? How do you feel as you're going through that? Some of that is critical as well. So we want to make sure that we're not doing things to sabotage ourselves, but we're doing those, like you said, short attainable goals, so that way we don't feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
We don't want to set ourselves up for failure before we even start.
Yeah.
Okay. And with
Yeah.
that, like I said, it's all about taking the first step.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So
It
taking the first step is a crucial. It is crucial for initiating change. If you don't step, you haven't moved. It's crucial for change and progress, as in any area of life, as it transforms intention into action and sets the stage for future success. I love that, Kim.
yeah.
One step, just
Yeah.
one. A step is movement. You may feel like I didn't do much. You did something. You drank one more bottle today than you did of water today than you did yesterday,
That's right.
right? Or
That's
one
right.
more cup. Even if it's just one more cup of water, you did something better and it's a step towards progress. I love that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. These are were some wonderful things, like you said, that we talked about with regards to making changes. We have to make changes from the inside out. Because sometimes we may look great on the outside, but we may feel like garbage on the inside, you
Yes.
know? But we talked about in these two episodes about being able to have some confidence or have a swag about us in our personal style, the
Yeah.
part that people see on the outside. But we also have to work on those things that are going on inside of us. What are we putting into our bodies, and
Yeah.
how is that reflecting on the outside?
I love it.
Okay. Because just like you said, we don't always look like what we've been through. Thank goodness. Okay. Because I think some of us would be looking one over. Okay. But when we look good, we feel good,
Yes.
but it's also important to make sure that we are, that it's coming from, and I want that glow to come from inside.
Yes.
And so, we want to start taking those initial steps that are going to help us to get through. And we've placed some tools in your toolbox, as
Yes.
your toolbox essentialist. It's always important to figure out what are some tools that we can use. And hopefully the things that we've shared in these two episodes are things that are going to, help you get that fresh start that you need, get that fresh win that you need, as we're continuing into the second month of this new year. Okay. And so with that, I'm going to say make sure that you guys like, follow, share, subscribe to our YouTube channels. They've been scrolling across the bottom of the screen as
Yeah.
we've been talking about creating a fresh start. Any
Yeah.
other words you want to
Yeah. I
share?
just want to say ultimately for me, it's all about self care. It's so
Yeah.
important for you to think about yourself consciously on a daily basis. You're going to eat, but can you be conscious about what you're eating? Tell yourself that you love you on a daily basis. See how you look. Straighten the thing out. Put the cute earrings on. Go get the fresh haircut. Do the little things that make you feel good about yourself. Your body will respond. Your
Yeah.
body will thank you. That's
Yes,
all I
I
have.
love it. I love it. This was a good one. This was a wonderful way to start out this new year and to, you know, put us in that place. But take the first step. Put one foot in front of the other. All right,
I
that's what we
love it.
want to do. Okay. I think like I said, we'll continue to walk in this vein of continuing an overall wellness. It's so
Mhm.
important to who we are as individuals and to how we're going to be able to tackle those things that are going to come before us. We've got to be able to do it in a certain mindset. It starts with your mindset as well,
Yes, it does. I love
because
it.
if we can get those things in our mind, the body will follow. All right. And with that, I'm going to say take good care of yourself as we're going through this new year. And we're going to look forward to seeing you guys in a couple of weeks as we
Yeah.
talk about other things that we're doing to redefine our authenticity. And until we see you all the next time, I say peace.